join us, but just so I am sure that I can be heard, can everyone see and hear the screen and me okay? If I could just get someone in the chat too. Giovanni, thank you very much. All right, we will just give a few minutes. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week so far. A little over halfway over, only a couple more days to go. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. For those who haven't joined one of our monthly marketing webinars so far, I am Will Gordon, Director of Marketing here at Nutshell. We try to do one marketing-led webinar per month related to a new release. So all of you are aware of what we have going on in the product, how you can use it, how you can access it, and all that. These are recorded. As long as you have signed up, I hope you attend the whole time, but as long as you signed up, you will receive a recording of this webinar. If you've unsubscribed from the emails from Demio, you actually will not, just because that's where the emails will be coming from. However, we do upload this video to YouTube and then add a link to our website as well. We have a webinar section of our website where we have all of our past recorded webinars available for watching there. So today we're going to go over one of our brand new products that we launched at the beginning of this month, which is Nutshell Quotes. So let's go ahead and move forward with the presentation. Pretty short agenda today since we're just covering one topic. We're going to dive into what Nutshell Quotes is. Then our VP of Product, Chris Kane, recorded a nice long demo that goes into a lot of detail on how to set up, how to use, and how you would be using quotes in your day-to-day process. And then we'll go over how to access Nutshell Quotes, who can access it, how much does it cost, that type of good stuff. And then we'll also go over some Q&As. It is just me today. I don't think I have anybody from the support team joining me. However, we do have about a 13-minute video from Chris where I will sit back and respond to any questions as possible. We also did include some questions in our sign-up form that I prepared some answers for as well. I was not able to answer some questions that didn't have an answer yet, but I do have some answers lined up, and I'll be happy to share some of those at the end. So without further ado, what is Nutshell Quotes? It should be pretty simple. It's our quoting feature that we have inside of Nutshell. So you can build professional, branded, quoted templates for fast quoting for your customers directly from Nutshell. You can create them directly from a lead page. The quotes will then auto-populate with all of the product and contact details that you have already inside of Nutshell. So it's going to pull from your product information, and it's going to pull from your contacts and the information that you have inside of your CRM. If you want to make sure, double, triple check, as we all do, you want to double check those quotes before you send them. You can review, you can edit them, you can see them as a draft, ensuring all your accuracy before you're sending them to your prospect or to your lead or to your customer. And then we make it super easy to share your quotes as well. You can send them as a shareable link, or you can download the PDF and send them as an attachment. And then once you do send the quotes, we make it super easy to track the progress of these quotes. So if you're in the app, you go to the sales dashboard, click on quotes and click on manage. You'll be able to see all of your quotes. You can then filter them by status. So if it's in draft mode, if you've removed it so the customer can't see it, if it's sent, if it's received, it's rejected, you can see all of that there. Additionally, if you're on the individual lead page of where you sent the quote, you can see that status of that quote on that individual lead page here as well. There's some screenshots here, and our demo with Chris will go into a little bit more detail on how that works as well. And you can automate quoting to keep deals on track as well. So similar to how you can use sales automation to send personalized email sequences, to send marketing campaigns, you can also move a lead from one stage to the next in your pipeline based upon what happens with one of your quotes. So here you can see in the bottom right here corner in this area here, you can auto move a lead from one stage in your pipeline to the next when a quote is sent. And you can also do the same thing. If a quote is accepted, you can move them to the next stage in your pipeline without having to do that manually. It's going to move them forward. Again, if you're using our sales automation feature. And then you can also get instant updates on quote activity. So if you're familiar with our notifications in Nutshell, you can edit them under your profile in the very upper right-hand corner. Quotes is no different. You can get an email, mobile, and in-app notification when any quote is viewed, when any quote is accepted, or you can turn all those off if you don't want it from your whole entire company. You just want to see the quotes that you have access to or that you have sent. You can get those mobile notifications, the in-app notifications, and then also that email notification as well. So that's all the information from me. We're going to dive into a product training that our VP of product, Chris Kane, did for us. So I'm going to switch over to that video. Feel free to type into the chat if you do have any questions. I will do my best to answer them during the video. It's about a 13-minute video, and it does go into good detail on how to use this product. I will say Chris got a little excited about quotes, so the audio does peak at some points in time, so make sure it's not too loud in your headphones if you're using headphones. So without further ado, here's Chris explaining quotes.
What's up, everyone? Today we're talking nutshell quotes. So with nutshell quotes, we wanted to make it as easy as possible to create quotes, send quotes, manage those quotes, and ultimately get those accepted by your customers, all without leaving nutshell. We're going to be talking about three things today. One, how to create and manage quotes. Two, how to get those quotes looking consistent with your branding with a quote template. And then three, some tips and tricks, how this sort of incorporates with Nutshell's sales automation and just other good practices for using quotes. So let's dive in. So I'm on a lead inside of Nutshell right now. I have a lead, it's a $176,000 lead. There's some products to the right, and I'm at the point in the sale that I want to generate a quote. So what I'm going to do to start off is I'm going to go down here and click this Add a Quote button. Now immediately what this is going to do is pull every single product I had on that lead and put that right in the middle here. So with one click, what have I done? I've created a quote. It's gotten all the products I have for that lead. It's pulled in the company associated with that lead, and it's generated some basic defaults such as, okay, maybe this quote's only valid for the next month. It's prepared by me. I'm representing Charles Berry in this demo. And then it's got some other fields for me to enter down here, eventually resulting in a final total of $176,000, which is exactly what this lead was. So with a single click, I've generated sort of the start of my quote. So let's break this down into a few pieces. At the top, we can see sort of how this quote's going to progress. So right now, it's considered in the draft status, right? I'm still creating my quote. Maybe I want to change up a few things and says like, hey, as we discussed, let me know by Friday if this quote looks good to you. So, I can change a couple of these things. Maybe as I'm going through this, I actually want to add some notes. So all of a sudden I'm editing these. And of course, Nutshell pulls in the defaults that you have. But we might decide, you know what, we discussed that the feasibility study, discussed that this would only be good for the first 3 months, something like that. Let's save that. As you'll notice, there's a couple different fields that we can edit here. So of course, we pull in the name of the product, the SKU if you have one configured, the quantity, the price, the term, maybe it's something monthly, quarterly, yearly, and then the discount. So of course, I can come in here and maybe, oh, that's right, we wanted a 20% discount for this Sunblade battery pack. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and that's going to automatically reflect there and update my subtotal. So of course, I could tweak this as I want. I could change some dates. Maybe this is only valid until the end of the month or something like that. But ultimately, after I tweak a lot of this stuff, I'm going to mark this quote as ready, and that's available to send. But hold on, how does this actually look for my customer? Let's first go to this view option up here. So if I click this drop down, I can see 3 different things. For one, I could just download this as a PDF, right? Maybe I want to actually send this as a PDF, so I can download that. Maybe you can see that here. Let's open what this looks like. Okay, we have a nice looking PDF here that Nutshell's generated for me. Obviously, it says draft because I'm not ready to send it. Let's go back, or I can actually view as customer. And what this is going to do is it's going to open up a public link to show my quote. So eventually I'll probably be sending this to a customer, but this is what the customer is going to see now. Of course, it's in draft state. Nutshell's telling me, okay, this isn't ready to send yet. But I'm starting to get a sense that, this does look more or less how I expect. It has the prices. It looks right. This is starting to look like a quote I might actually send to a customer. So let's close this and jump back into Nutshell. And you know what? I think this looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and mark this as ready. So Nutshell says, okay, this quote will be locked in and available to send to your customers. Am I sure? Yes, I am. Thanks for asking. And now we're in ready state. So immediately, I'm not able to edit this quote anymore because it is sort of locked in, right? Now, if I notice a mistake, I can come in here and I can say, you know what, let me make a copy and make some changes. But Nutshell's purposely decided that, you can't make changes to this anymore because you might have sent it to a customer and we can't be changing something after it's already in their hands. So I've marked this as ready, but now I actually need to send it to someone, right? And that's what the send quote button up here is going to do. So when I click this, I actually get a couple different options. Right, I can copy a link because maybe I want to send them that interactive web link that we just looked at. Maybe I want to download a PDF and send that in an email. Or I can use this pretty slick email flow through Nutshell without leaving. And why don't we do that for now? So I'm going to go ahead and send via email. It's going to open up Nutshell's email editor with the person associated with this lead. And okay, I'm sending it to this lead. Now down here, it says, okay, write your email or select a template and click this link to insert your quote link. All right, that sounds good. Feel good about that. Now I use Nutshell email templates, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up my quote follow-up email. And this says, hey there, Francis, I'm following up with the quote we discussed. Take a look and please let me know if this looks right. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click this insert quote link button. That's going to insert my Nutshell quote link automatically. And now my email is ready to go. And just to make sure this looks right, I'm going to open up this link, which as we saw is the quote that we had prepared. So that all looks good to me. I'm feeling really good about this. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go ahead and send that email. I'm not actually going to do this for the purposes of this demo, but I'm going to pretend that I sent that email and that's going to go ahead to that lead. So let's pause. What did we do? Well, we pretended to just send our quote, but that is the process of actually sending quotes to Nutshell or from Nutshell. Now, I'm going to pretend I'm the customer now, and let's put ourselves in the customer's shoes. So they've just received this quote. It says, Charles Berry sent you a quote. And all I have to do now as a customer, view this, make sure everything looks good, and then I can actually hit accept. It's going to let me fill in a name and email, or expect me to, because we need to know who's actually accepting this quote. So I'll say, I'm Francis, and my email is francis@example.com. I'm going to hit accept, and boom. All of a sudden, this quote is accepted. Now let's jump back into Nutshell and refresh the page, assuming that we are now, again, the Nutshell rep, and we can see this quote is accepted. So that is more or less the process for sending and then having quotes accepted by your customers. Now, again, you can send the quotes in a few different ways. You can email a PDF. You can send them an email, maybe through Gmail or whatever else with a link. Or, of course, you can send via Nutshell's email flow. And Nutshell will actually automatically detect if you sent that quote and mark it as sent for you. Okay, so that is the process of generating a quote. Now we're going to move over to creating quote templates. And what is a quote template? You might have noticed when I generated that quote, it filled in some information at the top. It said I was Nutshell. It had a website up here. It had a phone number. You can think of quote templates as the defaults for every single quote. So what is a default? Well, the default might be your company, some information about your company. It also might be some notes that you want on every single quote. So for example, you might say something like, terms subject to change. I'm not exactly sure. Something you want to say in every single quote. I guess we say that down in the footer here as well. Nutshell gives you some nice text to be able to change. Please visit acme.co. Maybe that's my website. Something that you want to include in every single quote that you're sending to customers. Additionally, we allow some customization for sort of the products that are on your quote. So as an example, maybe you don't use SKU. You want to hide that from every single quote you're sending. Or maybe we don't deal in sort of terms, so let's hide that from every quote as well. So those get saved, and that won't appear in the quote that I generate. Finally, of course, you want to make this look nice, so you can upload a logo. Maybe I already have a certain AeroGrid logo for my sort of demo company here. I can add that here and save that, so that's going to show up on every quote that I create. This isn't a real phone number, but that's okay. Maybe I also want to add some other information about my company, other information. You can add whatever you'd like inside of this box for the header of your quote. So why don't we go back to our lead and generate another one just to kind of see these defaults in progress. So if I go and generate another quote for this lead, we can see that it'll automatically contain that logo we added. It'll show that other information, and then there'll be some columns that were automatically hidden. So we don't see that skew anymore, and we don't see the term. Now, if for some reason we want to include that, you can still customize and bring back that column and maybe say, you know, this is per month or something like that. Doesn't really make sense in this context, but you get the point. One last thing, and I want to talk about discounts while we're here. This is a 20% discount that was pulled in automatically. And where did that come from? If we go and we actually look on our product for Sunraiser, we can see that there's a 20% discount on that lead. And this is really the advantage of nutshell quotes. You don't have to think about the fact that you're making a quote. Maybe you're just adding a discount for this particular lead. We want to discount this product by 40%. When you go to add another quote, it's just going to pull that information in automatically, and your subtotal will be exactly as you expect because it's just pulling that information from the lead. There's no manual data entry here that's necessary. All right, so that's a little bit about quote templates, a little bit about discounts. I want to talk about a couple more things. You might be using nutshell quotes for a while, you're loving it. One thing that we have is the ability to actually manage all the quotes throughout Nutshell, right? So inside of our sales page, inside of quotes, we have the template, which we already looked at previously, and below that is the manage page. So what this is a list of every single quote that you've generated, whether it's sent, draft, accepted, what have you, in a list for you to edit here. So, okay, I can see that it looks like Sandra has a quote that we've sent that hasn't been accepted yet. Looks like the last update was earlier this morning. We have a couple accepted quotes from last week, and it looks like there's a couple quotes we haven't sent to these leads from a couple weeks ago. We might want to pull those up and actually check on those. Who forgot to send those? This is a nice way to sort of get an overall view of your entire business. Who's sending quotes? Did some quotes, maybe not get accepted when we need to follow up on those? This is a really good way to manage all of your quotes inside of Nutshell. All right, and then the final thing, we wanted to make sure that we incorporated this into your sales process. And one thing we've done, and again, if you're not familiar with stage goals, there's plenty of other just knowledge-based articles and videos, probably able to link to at the end of this one. But what we've done is added 2 different stage goals for quotes, for sending a quote and getting a quote accepted. So how does this work? Well, I'm going to pull up one more lead, and it's going to be in this new pipeline that I've called the high value pipeline. And without getting into too many details around stage goals, I'm in something that I called the pitch stage, and my stage goal is to send a quote to the lead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to generate a quote. I'm going to pretend that it looks right. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that quote as ready. And I'm going to pretend to send this quote. I can just manually mark this quote as sent. Maybe I sent it via email or I downloaded the PDF. If I mark that as sent, if I close this quote, again, I haven't accepted it yet, Nutshell has automatically moved my lead into the next stage because it saw that I sent a quote. And this is how stage goals work. Now, finally, my last goal is to actually get a quote accepted, so the same thing would happen, right? If I actually get this quote accepted, and maybe I'll just mark it as accepted, Nutshell sees that, and it's going to mark that stage goal as complete because that was my goal for this stage. And that's it. It's a brief whirlwind into Nutshell quotes. Happy quoting. What's up, everyone?
There we go. I was trying to unmute myself for the longest time. Okay, back to the presentation. Again, that video itself will also be included in the recording of this. So if there's certain parts that you want to go back to and pause and rewatch, you absolutely can. We usually try to get these videos posted within 1 week after the webinar. So if you don't get it in your email, you can go ahead and check our website in about 1 week and it should be uploaded there. So how do you access Nutshell Quotes? Nutshell Quotes is an add-on that any Nutshell customer can purchase. So whether you have our sales foundation plan or our sales enterprise plan or anyone in between, it's just $45 per month for your entire team. Most of the competitors that we were looking at that have quoting tools are typically on a per user basis. So if you have a couple seats, it can get pretty pricey to make sure that all of your customers or all of your sales reps can have the ability to have and send access for quotes. So we thought $45 for a month was more than fair for an entire company. So like I said, customers on any Nutshell sales plan can purchase Nutshell Quotes. To do so, to go to your settings, administration, billing, and then update my plan. The Nutshell Quotes add-on will be on the add-ons page as you go through our billing flow. And then to start using Nutshell Quotes, you can go to the sales dashboard and then quotes in the submenu, and then start setting up your template. So that way you'll have that template set up to be able to send out to some of your customers. So I know I was able to answer a lot of the chat while we were in here. And I see one more from Giovanni. Yes, you can brand the quote with your logo. If I can do it, it's really simple. You just go in there and upload your own logo, just like you can upload your own logo to Nutshell in general. You can add that there as well. We did come more prepared with some questions and answers. I made sure that we asked a couple questions in the sign up form for this webinar. So let me just go through some of those first. If you have more questions, I will try to get to them as soon as I'm done reading through these ones we already have prepared here. So first question, does the roadmap include generating an invoice from the quote as well, often in similar structure format, or even just being able to download a quote/invoice or PDFs would be great. This is on our roadmap, but it does not currently have a set date at the moment. So we are, of course, this is just our first go around with quotes. We always look to enhance our products so they can provide more value for our customers. So at this point in time, generating that invoice and being able to pay that invoice is not part of Nutshell Quotes. Next question, can I track performance against a contact? For example, at the end of the year, we see that we sent a specific contact 10 quotes throughout the year. 4 were successful and 6 weren't. So this one, not complicated to answer, but right now, quotes are not connected to contacts, they're connected to leads. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can go into sales, quotes, and manage, and you can adjust your filters to see, hey, which were all my accepted quotes, which were all my rejected quotes. And you can even filter out by sales rep too. So if it's the same sales rep that works with that same point of contact, you can pretty easily find the quotes that were accepted versus rejected that way. Additionally, you can go to your leads timeline, and then in the lead record, there's the section for quotes that Chris showed in his video, and you'll be able to see all the quotes that were sent to a specific lead and the status of those quotes as well. So yes, you will be able to track that status, maybe not as simply as to the person that you sent it to, but to the lead that they were sent to, yes. The next question I have here is, what kind of detail and customization can I put onto these quotes? How much stylization and customization is there? Are there quotes connected to contacts and or leads? I would send them through in Nutshell. Can I take payment? So a couple questions in one. Some of those were answered in Chris's walkthrough. As for stylization, pretty standard stylization. You can add your business name, your business logo, your contact. You can update the notes, be able to add in all the product information that you want to add here, and then add the subtitle in as well. Quotes are connected to leads. I answered that in the last question. And the last part of the question is, at this point in time, this does not include payment processing. So similar to the invoice question, this is not a way to process payments via Nutshell. Again, something we may look into down the line. It's on the roadmap, just not with a set date as well. Next question, can we upload our price list into Nutshell to generate a quote? Somewhat answered in our walkthrough as well, just not asked this way. Yes, and in order to generate those quotes for accurate totals, it's going to pull from the product list that you have inside of Nutshell. So that's how Nutshell pulls those totals in there. So that's how it'll be necessary to have those product information in there to make quotes work. This next one, I really like this one. I actually pushed our product team earlier today as I was reading it. Because our quotes vary up by product, can we create a quote template for each type of product used? So currently in the app, we only have the ability to set one template quote. So this, I would assume, Alex, I'm going to use you as an example as a reseller of equipment. Say there's a different quote template for new equipment versus parts or versus rental equipment. Maybe you want to have that template be readily available for all those different types of sales that you have. Currently, we do not have this on the roadmap. I personally see it as a very great feature, so I'll be pushing it on behalf of our customers to be able to have more than one template. But right now, it's just one template for quotes. And the last question, I hope this is a softball that I can answer very well, but this question was, why should I use this versus our current quotation tool? And ultimately, the answer is going to be, it depends. Depending on your current quoting tool's capabilities, you may decide to keep using that solution because it may be the best fit for you. If Nutshell Quotes does everything you need it to do, I would say some of the main benefits are, as you saw in the video, it syncs seamlessly with Nutshell. You can easily send a quote directly to a lead and track its progress, move leads through a pipeline. No need to rely on any integration. So that handles a lot of dual data entry. If you are able to use Nutshell Quotes, that's one less invoice you have every single month. And then the next one I kind of mentioned earlier too, but depending on your team size, quotes can be a great way to cut costs. Most of the quoting software that we looked at as a competitive landscape as we were building the software was a per seat investment. Some as low as, I think, $19 per month, some as high as $80 per month per seat. So if you have 10 or more salespeople on your team, 10 times 19 is a lot more than $45 per month. So it could be great at cutting costs for your company if Nutshell Quotes does everything you need it to do. And of course, this is our first iteration of quotes. We do plan to have enhancements for it on our roadmap to come. We definitely want to hear that feedback. I want to shout out Anna for having some great feedback in here already. So we do expect to add and enhance Nutshell Quotes as we go further down the line. And then I see one more question in here from Clayton. The main hurdle for onboarding this feature would be updating our 10,000 plus SKUs with pricing. We work off CSV Power BI files for pricing. Is there a way to get pricing and SKUs automatically updated, or is this something we need to do manually? Clayton, I will reach out to you, or I will have someone reach out to you about this question. It's a little bit over my head, so I might need to get some information from my team. But obviously that would be a headache for you. So I want to make sure that we can reduce some of that headache for you if we absolutely can. So I'll reach out to you hopefully by the end of this week. I can't make any promises, or don't quote me on that if I can get in one joke today. But yeah, we will reach out to you, Clayton, and see if there's a cheat code for that as well. All right. Thank you again for joining us. Just a few more slides here. Again, join our monthly support-led webcast. This is the fourth Wednesday of every month at noon Eastern. We just go through a rotating list of topics to help you get the most out of Nutshell's foundational features. It's a great way to get shown an answer if you have one, if there's time available after the call. You can sign up at nutshell.com/guided-tours/Nutshell best practices. And our next one is going to be next Wednesday at noon. And then some upcoming releases. Some of these are out already. Some of these are almost out. So in our Marketing Pro suite, we have our marketing email link report, which allows you to see which email recipients clicked on exactly what links in your email marketing campaign. So if you send out an email about a brand new product, but you have a couple more links included in there, wouldn't it be nice to see who clicked on that link to see who is interested in that new product so you can follow up with some more personalized outreach? Again, that's available in our marketing suite on the Marketing Pro tier. Next up is our Facebook and Instagram integration in our Nutshell engagement suites. So you'll be able to add Facebook Messenger and Instagram DMs to your engagement channels. So you'll be able to manage conversations with leads through Facebook Messenger and Instagram DMs and create those leads as new messages come in from those platforms inside the Nutshell engagement suite. Those integrations will be available on the Engagement Pro inside of our Nutshell engagement suite. And then last but not least, I know this launched, I believe, internally for our account today, just to kind of test out some of the bugs, but I'm very excited about this one. This is going to be smart versus fixed audiences/lists. So you can choose whether your audience are going to update dynamically as far as whether or not new contacts, companies, or leads match your filters, or if they're going to remain the same, as in I'm creating a list today, no one else will be added, no one else will be removed unless I manually do so. So it's also going to make making saved lists and audiences a lot more seamless inside a Nutshell. As someone who manages our marketing team, this is really important to me, and I hope it's going to be a big win for you guys as well. To keep up with all of our product updates, there'll be a link in the slide deck that you will get after this presentation ends. And also you can sign up for our shipping news newsletter. We send that out once a month with everything that our product team was able to ship for our customers that month. So again, thanks for joining, everybody. I hope you try out Nutshell Quotes. I hope you add it to your program, and happy nutshelling.